we're live, baby. No Saviors is live. Because ain't no saviors to save us. If you continue these antics, you will be kicked out of the show. We have a no policy.
A no policy?
A no policy.
Oh, a no
Yes.
policy.
Kicked out. You're gone.
No, I'm saying it the way that... Come on now. Come on now.
Shimon now.
Shimon Lee.
Yeah, well, you know. Welcome to Intern Name Here.
I'll be right back.
Brought to you in full technicolor and living sound with the dulcet tones of the great Alejandro Taylor.
Yes, that is me. I am here. My shirt is blended into the background.
We act like we don't know that we have a green screen every week. The bass of Kane, the guy who makes things and stuff. And Alejandro fucking shit up as usual.
Again, yet again.
And then there's me, who be here. And I'm accidentally cracking this water bottle, sorry.
So she also fucking things up
Again,
too.
yet again, I come out
What
of
would
this perfectly.
Like we wouldn't have 40 episodes in a week. But whatever.
40 episodes, huh?
40 episodes.
Wow, that sounds special.
Would you like to reminisce on the number? 40 days and 40 nights. This is 40 episodes.
You know, we've been in the desert. We've been in the desert for
Will
real.
life improve after?
I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. But one can hope.
Anyway, so first of all, R.I.P. Paul Mooney. That's whack.
Comedy God. He was 79 though, so he wasn't.
Yeah, he had a heart attack. That's whack. He'll be missed,
but he went.
At least he lived a full life.
Our category of black man, you can't die. He reached the age where you can die.
Yeah, where it's technically okay. We don't prefer it, but it's technically allowed.
It's allowed.
It's allowed.
We
It's
allow
still
you
not
to
allowed
die.
for Morgan Freeman.
We allow you to have a heart attack and die.
It's still not allowed for Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, sorry.
Morgan Freeman's
Period.
gotta live.
Hey,
Morgan Freeman's in
Paul
this for
Mooney
life.
and Paul Mooney. Okay, so then we could joke about Paul Mooney like this.
Okay, because Paul Mooney would joke about Paul Mooney like this.
So it's okay.
It's acceptable.
So yeah.
Yes, R.I.P. to the comedy god.
Yeah, Paul Mooney. So I guess in suckier death news. Sorry, it does sucks, but it's suckier.
Yes.
The Michaela Miller's death has been ruled as suicide by the local officials in Hopkinton.
But they're independent.
They're doing an independent investigation.
So that should.
So we'll see what that results with. And you know, I heard this story on the radio when I was on the way home from a meeting or whatever, and I just I still am wondering what, you know, I'm wondering about the alleged attack the day before. I still want to know what's the story behind that, so
there's still so much that's unknown.
I would like to have some clarity around that.
And you can really tell that the DA and the police really just want to push this under the rug and go, you know what, somebody should just go to self. It is what it is. Let's move on.
Yeah.
But also no.
I don't mean for this to be disrespectful, but that's how you get a fucking ghost. When you sweep shit under the rug. I'm sorry if you have you never seen fucking Nightmare on Elm Street? Any ghost movie in the 80s where the ghost is killing people? It's because people did some fucked up shit and tried to where is it, Hopkinton? In some fucking East bumfuck all white fucking town, somebody did some fucked up shit to another person. Doesn't matter what the other person did or who they were, and then they come back and start fucking eating children. You're like, why is this happening? Because y'all fucking summoned y'all did this shit.
Yeah.
Please.
Anywho, moving on. So that's something we'll look forward to seeing how the independent investigation kind of works out from there and what they come to, because obviously, if you don't know, there have been in the past forever in our American history, there have been a lot of cases of just young black teens, adults, just black people in general that have been ruled suicides that we know for certain weren't suicides. So it'd be interesting to see.
Or died under super suspicious circumstances or something like that.
So very interested to see what happens, and I'm glad that people are still continuing to fight for her, just to find out what happened to her, because she deserves just that much.
Right.
And, okay, so, guys, yesterday and I think Monday was a forum for the at-large candidates. And I'm here to complain today. Today is my complaint date about this. There are, well, we're going to find out with who like meets the signature kind of like cutoff or not. But there are like 25 candidates for at-large, or there are like 25 candidates for at-large. Way too many motherfuckers that think they can run for this position. And it's a little sick that they all think they can. And I would just like for some people to acknowledge that not all of you always need to run for the same office every year, like every time. Like, is it really necessary? Like, do you all need to? And also, why are we having these candidate forums when they're not even like?
They're not on. I don't like people who are not on the ballot yet. I don't care what their ideas are. I'm sorry.
I don't like
because I'm not gonna vote for them because they're not gonna be on the ballot because they didn't get enough signatures because most of them are not serious people. Like I don't.
That's pretty much it.
It's a waste of my time.
To have people that, like, we don't even know if they'll be here next week. What was the point of listening to them talk for 2 hours?
Like, some of these people, obviously, they're going to get on the ballot. Some of these people already have enough signatures. But, like, the thing is, like, a lot of them are, like, not serious people.
So, yeah, that was a thing. It didn't even make sense. Like, I'm not even going to mention homie. There's one character that's at that large race, that doesn't think immigrants deserve, like,
bro,
to vote. And that's the only part I'm going to bring up about him because that was the most...
but he that was funny.
Most important thing that he was like, I had to wait 5 years to vote, so everybody should have to wait the right time.
He was like, people wouldn't know. People are not invested if they don't have to wait 5 years. If they don't, all you gotta do is go to the shits and get your citizenship. I said, sir, you know you motherfucking lying. And then somebody was like, yo, this is like Anissa 2.0. And he was like, you're comparing me to Anissa because our last names are similar. I was like,
nobody thought that.
Like, who even thought? They're not even similar. What are you talking about? And then, like, I was just like, I'm like, sir, he's like, it's because Anissa would say some weird conservative shit like that. Weirdo.
It was just strange. We're not even going to pay attention.
He was like, and she's a Catholic and I'm a Muslim. What? Shut up. This is why I don't want to vote for you. Shut the hell up, sir. What are you talking about?
I really hope he didn't make the signature thing. I'd be really mad if
he probably did because he probably got a little base of support. Man, cornball hole.
Weirdo. All right, talking about cornballness, the mask mandate is going to be lifted on May 29th. And this is from, like, our governor. And it's pretty much, like, at this point, it's across the country. Yeah. It's pretty much June is going to be, like, it's free-for-all month. Like, it's do whatever you want.
June is will everybody die?
Will we die or not? It's a test. It's like a test of the vaccinated populations and unvaccinated.
Yes, that's what Melinda said, too.
What's going to happen? We going to see. If you got vaccinated, maybe you won't die as much.
That's what Melinda said, too. Aquarius mind,
But, good luck, guys. And Stop and Shop said they'll stop requiring the mask once the mandate goes into effect. So, May 29th, I'll be shopping at Shaw's, unless Shaw's also says the same thing. Then I'm going to be like, well, I have to starve now. Because why would I, like, I'm not trying to be in close spaces with a bunch of mofos that I know aren't trying to get...
I mean, even without coronavirus, I'm wearing masks, bro, because you know what? Y'all are nasty. And y'all have proven it so many times over this shits
nasty.
And before.
Y'all don't wash your hands. Y'all don't do nothing. Why would I want to... You don't brush your teeth. Like, why would I want to be around you? But whatever. That's going to end. We're all going to die. Also, Kim Janey has been... in my opinion, I think they've really pushed her to open the state back up. Not the state, the city. They've pushed her to open the city of Boston back up because a lot of the candidates, mainly Anissa, from what I've seen on Twitter, have been like, oh, small businesses need the city to open faster. We need to move forward with what the governor guidelines are. Me personally, I believe we need to move at our own pace because the rest of the state is not Boston. The rest of the state does not have a massive population like we do, living in such extreme tight corners. But whatever, we'll see how that works out at the end, and then they'll probably blame Kim Janey for opening the state up too fast as soon as people start getting COVID, because ipso facto people get the COVID because they're gonna get close, they're gonna go to the bars, they're gonna go. Please don't go to venue. if there's anything I want you to do with your freedom, that will come on May 29th and throughout the summer. Please don't go to Venue. Don't go to Bijou, especially Bijou, actually. Don't go to, Rumor. Don't go to those things. Don't go to Storyville.
Storyville. Don't go to.
Please just make underground parties. Make underground clubs. Do something fun. Do something interesting.
And keep
go
it
to the
keep
Arbs
it small.
like those.
Go to the Arbs like those white kids at BLA did.
Yeah. Keep it small and make it like secret parties. Like you can only if you know can you make it.
Speakeasy vibes.
Yeah.
We love a speakeasy. We love a good
bring the speakeasies back.
Yeah,
fuck the government and their liquor licenses and shit.
Yo, they want to kick us out of Franklin Park, so.
Yeah.
Let's all go to Franklin Park. In fact, nice open air. I saw a family cooking at Franklin Park on Monday. That should be an outdoor
club. We should make an outdoor club.
And
there.
I said, this family in Franklin Park probably like, I'm not cooking for these kids in the house. It's 70 degrees. What you think, I'm gonna cook real food for these kids? They're gonna have hot dogs. And I said, same. That's the narrative I made up for this family at Franklin Park, by the way, guys. Thank you. Okay.
Facts. So.
Oh, God. Where does one even start with this story?
The BPD sucks.
Yes. Okay, we'll start with, this part. So a lovely police sergeant, that's the thing, right? Sergeant Brian Dunford. I'm gonna go with Dumford. Dumford was arrested for assault and battery of his wife last week.
His wife.
His wife was also arrested a couple weeks ago too for something similar or whatever. So I think they being each other.
That's great.
So a lovely.
These are the great people that should probably be around guns and stuff.
This
He's like, we're doing this now, huh?
Somebody promoted to a nice little position within the Boston Police Department is a criminal too. Not a day goes by in the great city of Boston where we don't have a criminal as a police officer. I feel like I'm in a mob movie. And it's like a 1940s mob movie about Chicago or something. Like, what is this? Don't make no sense.
I told you that. Have I not repeatedly said the BPD is like the mafia? Have I not said it over and over again?
Irish mafiosos?
They have a real special, I don't know. They be playing. They're special. They really think they're like a criminal syndicate.
But their crimes.
But they are criminals.
Their crimes kill me
because
they really do those crimes that everybody states are the regular crimes for police officers. So they really stay beating their wives, beating their children, touching children.
Yeah.
Guys, can you do better? The crimes you're committing are
and overtime fraud.
Overtime, Jesus Christ,
they
y'all
love
can't do more, better.
Fraud.
Do better. God.
Rob a bank.
Rob where they keep the evidence stuff, where all the
they do that.
Stuff.
Oh, they definitely do
that.
They
do that.
No,
yes.
but do it on a large scale.
But do it and get caught so I can laugh. This is not. I can't laugh about this sergeant beating his wife. No. I can, but I won't. But I can't laugh about that. But he's suspended without pay, I guess. So that's a surprise for once that he's suspended.
And what about Dennis White? There's an investigation, right?
Okay, so this is the real meat and potatoes. On Friday at I think almost 4 p.m., which is something that people pointed out that Marty Walsh used to do a lot, is that he'd have an important press conference at Friday in the afternoon to make sure that you wouldn't know what was happening or you wouldn't pay attention to it because it's the weekend. Who cares about what happens at Friday at 4 p.m.? Wrong. And so Kim Janey
wrong.
Kim Janey is doing the same thing. This is the second time she's actually done this too. I think about the same kind of concept about it being about the police. So there was an investigation completed about homie Dennis White, who was
very white.
Was appointed to be the commissioner after Gross retired. And quickly, people found out that there was a lot not great with him. And he's, in fact, currently suing the city because he's trying to he filed an injunction to block his firing. So, and this is while Kim Janey is saying we need to kind of move away from him and find somebody else. And his replacement is said to be Nora. I don't remember her name. Bastion?
Yeah.
Who me and Malaysia both met. She's a nice lady.
For a cop.
Yep. And so so that's a whole thing. It's a whole mess. This is a whole triangle of mess. But what the Globe did is that they created They did an investigation themselves, trying to figure out, and I think it was not themselves, but like rather, they did an investigation right after they found out that there were these allegations against Dennis White, and they found out that there were 11 suspicious things. Some things that weren't so great.
He was
That's wild.
He was doing weirdness.
So reported allegations of abuse multiple times by his wife. Another allegation by another woman that was like 19.
Mm-hmm.
Gross.
Records, all the domestic violence records disappeared.
Gross.
The internal affairs ruling changed.
Ugh.
He was homies with the domestic violence. What?
Wait, he's in jail now?
No.
Oh, he's the new commissioner?
No.
He's
still on like paid leave.
Okay.
This is just what they found out about him through actually doing in a vetting process.
Yeah.
So the biggest issue that we really find out is that Marty Walsh, before he left, didn't do any actual vetting for this job. Instead of just kind of putting an interim commissioner and just waiting,
right,
he decided to appoint him, but he didn't. For people that don't know, there's normally a vetting process that goes into picking people that go into these positions. A lot of places will sometimes bring in police officers from different states. Some will promote within, like what has been happening with the BPD for the past, like, I don't know, I think at least the past 3 or 4 or 5 commissioners have pretty much just been within the Boston Police Department, have been like sergeants or whatever's under that or above it. So that what typically happens, they go looking for him. There's like this big search. Chief. Because he was Chief Gross first, or before. So you go looking, find people that are interested in the job, and then you vet them, make sure that they don't have domestic violence, or there weren't any extortion or something big that would prevent you from becoming the commissioner. He didn't do it.
Yeah, and they didn't vet Gross well enough either, because
they did not.
That nigga, he every time he first of all he said Cape Verde. That should have been flagged. Cape Verde should have been flagged.
Period.
Also, he used to, every time he would come to teen empowerment stuff, he used to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you guys out for dinner," and he never did. So.
Never did. Yep, criminal.
Oh,
a liar, can't keep his word.
So maybe his name isn't Commissioner Gross. Maybe it's Commissioner Promises. Mr. Promises over here promising people.
That was the worst joke. Commissioner Promise.
Commissioner Promise is broken.
Okay, so anywho,
but actually his name is Commissioner Twitterfingers.
Yes.
Anyway,
Period.
But speaking of Commissioner Twitterfingers, the former Commissioner Twitterfingers endorsed Anansi the Spider.
Anansi the Spider?
For for mayor.
Oh no, that's her name now. Anansi the Spider.
Wait, what?
For mayor.
The Spider. No, I fucking love it though. It's very funny.
For mayor, and they're the same type of Aggie, so they both Karens, and
as I wrote, because birds of a feather motherfucking flock together,
and they're both birds, and they're annoying, and they love each other, and that's cool.
To be quite honest, I know why Anissa let him endorse her, but to be quite honest, like if you wanted to ever hold even a glimmer of, oh, I'm a progressive, is gone now.
Right.
Like, it's fully gone.
Don't even try to play that lie. Speaking of, any mayoral candidates who want to tell the truth, we'll give you free time.
Tell the truth.
We'll give you, in fact, if you want to lie, you could come too, but we're going to call you out on it. Mm-hmm. We'll give you free time. We're going to do it. It won't even be it'll be a debate, but it'll be a beauty shop style debate. So, there'll be a moderator, but we're going to let y'all yell over each other. Also, no time limits. We're going round robin style. Get in where you fit in. And anybody who want to say something, come say it. Come through. Not here, but it'll be somewhere else. But come through. And we'll let you say it on this platform. Come on, man. We got good questions to ask or whatever.
Yeah, guys, come through
whatever candidate, any of y'all candidates y'all want to come through. If we said you're a joke and we don't know why you're running, come through. Prove us wrong.
You won't.
You won't, but
you can try.
Come through. We'll see.
You won't be pussy. That's for certain. Is that I know for certain. If you come on Insta name here, is that I know
you're not pussy. That's true.
You're not pussy.
That's true.
Now, will I know if you good for the city? Well, I'll know.
Me personally, I don't know, but will other people know? I don't know.
And you'll know you're not pussy if you see this and you go, I'm pussy?
Oh, I'm pussy.
No,
Oh, me?
for real.
That's what John
You coming at me?
He's gonna watch you and be like, oh,
That's how
I'm
you know
pussy.
you're not. Come on down.
You know, if you want the best type of kind of promotional video ever on earth, you'll come to Insert Name Here. It'll be great. It'll be a fabulous event. We'll make it a whole thing. Me and Malaysia will show up in tailored suits that we will write off as business expenses. And it'll be the best, I don't know, hour
Choo's.
that you'll ever have. Jimmy Choo. Business guy got that much.
They're gonna be Jimmy Hughes from AliExpress.
Okay, alright. Okay.
Anyway.
Putting it back together.
Anyway, so Gross endorse Anansi, and
Yes.
that's their business.
That's not mine. And if you want to come on the show and talk for 15, let's chop it up.
Let's chop it up.
Let's, like Malaysia said, barbershop style. Let's see what you gotta
barbershop,
say.
beauty shop style, you know.
You're gonna get cut off a lot, and we're gonna
Hey, excuse me, but wait, it's gonna be.
But wait, I got this idea right here, right now. Right
Now,
about
like,
this
hold
one
on,
right
brother,
here.
hold on. All right, hold on. Okay, but what you gotta understand is that.
Now, see, sister, you're wrong about that. You're wrong now.
Okay.
And you know you are.
All right, yeah, that's why you don't got nothing to say anymore. Shut up. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, you know, if y'all ever watch these, remember how they had those presidential candidates come on? We're gonna do that, except we're gonna ask you actual fucking questions.
Yes,
and
very
it's gonna
annoying.
hurt. Sorry.
Jesus and Miro, y'all got away with that. That's fine. I'll let y'all get away with it.
Y'all want to be everybody's friend, whatever. I'll be everybody's enemy. I don't care.
Me and Malaysia, we the enemies.
I don't care. Anyway.
Okay, so the New York Times, they wrote an article basically about youth activism and a bunch of activists from the Boston and greater Boston area that is doing their thing.
And you know what? It's cool that they're doing their thing. Yes, Mike said a barbershop style episode would be the greatest. Yes, with a bunch of random candidates. Listen, if we had, first of all, if we haven't even had like Domingos on here, like
Period. What the
and
hell?
if we even just had Domingos on there, that would just be a whole situation all by itself.
Oh man, wait, let me tell you a story. When I was getting signatures, he said, "Do you know where the West End was?" And I said, "No."
The what now?
The West End. There used, the North End, the South End.
Yes.
There's a West End. It's where like MGH is.
Yeah, right over by
I said no.
Also, yeah, people.
I know West Roxbury.
I've heard
was a part of
I've heard
Roxbury.
people say West End before. No, what was the other thing I heard somebody say? There was another one. I was like, the what? Like, what?
I was like, he was quizzing me on my knowledge of random, like.
That's like when I got in the
Bostonian
Uber.
thing?
That's like when I got in the Uber, and the Uber driver was like, "Oh, do you know why are you from Boston?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You know why Back Bay is called Back Bay?" I was like, "Yeah, cause it used to be the fucking bay, and they dug it out, and now it's fucking land, cause they put a bunch of dirt there." He's like, "Wow, a lot of people don't know that," and then he started explaining to me about like other Boston stuff. I'm like, "Sir, please, sir, I know."
Really, did I not just?
I demonstrated knowledge. I know, sir.
I
Shut
passed
up.
the test.
I just want to be in my ride.
I passed the
Sorry,
test.
Mike said something it's on period, I think. Today, those are the words that are on period. He said, get hip to saying North Dorchester, because Southie is getting out of pocket. It's correct. South Bay is now North Dorchester, or as I would like to call it now, South Roxbury.
South Roxbury.
It is, because it is, when proximity to the south end, what is it? It's not that far. It's south to the south end. Thank you. Period.
Yeah, but okay, so the article was about youth activism. And
Yes.
the thing about it was that it was all about a bunch of white children. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with a bunch of white children doing youth activism, except for the fact, and being highlighted for it is what also, except for the fact that no one else is ever like
Y'all don't highlight the black
people have been doing this for decades. Like kids, little kids, have been doing this for decades, and when finally when it's palatable, organizers, young white girls and stuff, like they're getting New York Times profile, like, and it's like people have been organizing for so long around so much, and then like all of a sudden after Parkland, it's just like we act like the main organizing base of this country is like 16-year-old white kids, and if it's any teenager, it's not white kids. Like, let's be honest about it. And I have nothing against anybody. Like, come on. Like, I love the work that they're doing, and I like that they're holding people accountable. I like that they're like, fuck the bullshit. Like, we put you in office, you're gonna listen to us. Like, and I like that. And it's just, but it's like, like when I saw it, I just had to roll my eyes. Like, I didn't say anything. I was just like, whatever. Of course, that's how I felt, because it's just like, it's sickening. Like, I just think it's tiring. It's exhausting.
Yeah. Did you say it's like an appropriation of like protesting?
I mean, in a lot of ways, because like, think about, like, it's not appropriation, but it, like, the culture of organizing actually, like, a lot of what we do organizing now is from Black people and Black movements. Like, so I feel like it's more so, not that they highlight like these young people, but that they don't highlight everything else, and then they want to say, "Whoa, why isn't anybody working on violence in the hood? Why isn't anybody working on dropout rates in the hood? Why isn't
tons of kids doing that?"
And like, there's so many, right? Like, I know people have been doing that since they were 14 years old.
There was even a young Black activist that was interviewed for the article but wasn't put in the actual article.
Wow.
Well, there was like this young white girl, another, I think, white boy, and then they just didn't include her. And I feel like I read the whole article and I felt like she could have been included. Just like, if you're gonna include, like, I feel as though, especially because there was no other Black organizer, no other Black person highlighted there.
It's just like,
at the very least you could have put her in the
article. Just feel like because if you're an organizer in Boston, like, the face of like young people organizing in this area, like, there are white kids, yes, but when the majority of young people in this area organizing are not white.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I know organizing around Ed Markey and around the Senate race was a big thing, but like, also that's nothing. That doesn't do anything for like the community, or for like the city.
Hasn't even saved the trees yet.
Like, bruh.
I mean, they're like, in the article they even talk about how the Markey universe turned against him. The Markeyverse turned against Ed Markey because he wasn't coming out strongly enough against what's happening in Israel. Like, like, he really, like,
and I'm like,
when it comes to our stuff, like,
I just feel like, it feels like boxer braids, bro. Like, it feels like they're saying something. This is some revolutionary thing. Like, oh, look at how these people came up with this revolution.
Looks so nice with
revolutionary
her
thing.
Braids.
And then people and we're like, yo, we've been doing this forever. Like, I'm not talking about we as in us. I'm talking about we as in like the people. Yeah, like, especially the people of this community. Like,
people have like generations of organizing.
I'm talking about like Mel King. We got literal like organizing family dynasties in Boston and Roxbury, and like, we also got like people like Carrie and people like that's one thing. Like, for instance, like, people like Carrie, they'll bring Carrie out to talk to anybody, show off how she can speak and do da 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 da. But when have we seen any national news thing really want to talk to Carrie? Just about like, let's hear about the stuff you do. Let's hear. And she's done stuff. And I'm like, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to, again, it's no like pit anybody against each other thing or anything like that. It's
more of a media thing.
I just feel like
they highlight
it, especially the New York Times, because the New York Times is just like, they're so complicit in like all this entire imperialist apparatus, this entire like oppressive, anti-Black, anti-poor. Like, the New York Times is so complicit.
New York Times gonna give you an article about how a millennial afforded to put his life savings into something and then made millions.
It's like ridiculous. Like, the New York Times. How many times did the New York Times enable Donald Trump? Remember when I was scrolling through my Twitter and I saw a tweet where I was like pissed off about how the New York Times was exposing the whistleblower, who called out the Ukraine thing, and like they really did do some wild shit like that. They was doing, like, at first they did that ridiculous about the Russia investigation, putting that over actual substantive news, and then they want to freaking expose a whistleblower. Like, the New York Times is just a shitty fucking rag. But I just think media needs to, they need to be more holistic, and we gotta recognize we're never gonna get to liberation. And I need not for people under the age of 21, but I'm gonna need, if you're 20, 22 and up, I'm gonna need you to step aside if you know you should step aside. If somebody coming to you with an opportunity to do something and this and that, and you know that it should be for somebody else, I'm gonna need you to step aside and give that to somebody else and push for that person to have it. They're 16. I think yes, you need to be getting. Yes, you need to be getting raised up, and yes, your voice should be raised up. But other people, like, yo, if you're some white man who's about to get a freaking op-ed written about them, and you know that you on a coalition of a bunch of black women and queer folk, you know you gotta step aside, bro. You know you better be like, all right, it wasn't me, dog. Come on. And I know mad of them they don't. So that's why I'm saying it. But these specific Markyverse organizers is different. Because they need to be elevated. Their voices deserve to be elevated.
These are like a bunch of, especially Callie, and I can't remember homie's name, and I think her name is Lily or Lillian, something like that. The black girl. I need to go check.
Lillian.
They all were like really big in like getting a bunch of local elections popping, and that's really important because local elections is not typically something that is important to people. Mm-hmm. They were very big. I think not even looking back during the election with I was gonna say JFK. Oh my god. With Joe Kennedy and Ed Markey, like Callie was one of the people on his ass. Like Callie was on. Like Joe Kennedy had homegirl like in the back of his head. Right. Like his campaign manager had that bitch in the back of his head. Like he was thinking hard about a 15, 16-year-old little girl. And that's hilarious. Like the impact of being like there was a quote in how most of them started as like K-pop and Taylor Swift fan pages. Like she started her Twitter when she was 11 as a Taylor Swift
Stan account.
Jesus.
Like she turned from a Stan account to like an activist that's recognized around the country. Mm-hmm. Like that's very amazing, and it's very like admirable because like people love to say young people ain't involved with their communities. Young people don't know nothing about politics. Well, here's a shit ton of people, not just her, that like are deeply involved in their communities, deeply involved in local politics to shut y'all the fuck up. And it was even cooler to see that stat of like in Massachusetts youth voting went up a lot. Yep. And I think that has to do with people like Callie being involved, but it has to do with like years of people organizing
around young people. I mean, look at the half the reason that a lot of young people or people under the age of 18 are activated now is because we have early registration for 16 and up. So these young people can at least feel like
early registration. Those organizations jumping into your high school to get you registered.
Yeah.
This is like there's a reason organizing and right. Thing is important.
Like all of this, like this is why like like when black people like I stand on the shoulders of my whoever. That's like how organizing is, because all the advocacy people did before they get whatever law passed, whatever thing, like. That that makes it so that the next organizer can even exist, like that, so I think we have to, I think that has to be acknowledged in the talk of organizing. And also like if this is like if you're a political organizer, you should get like op-eds. If you're like a liberation organizer, bro, don't talk to don't talk to the ops, bro. What's wrong with you?
If you're in general political organizing, and even then, the funny part about that is that like she gets death threats for just talking about like stuff that adults do every day. Like me and Malaysia also rile up these mofos every day when we tweet stuff. We be having people subliminally replying to things we talked about on our show. it's, it's whatever. It is what it is. But these people are, like, attacking 15, 16-year-olds for doing the same thing adults do every day. And you just a little confused.
I'm sorry. Speaking of attacking 15 and 16-year-olds, you see that video of the lady in Dunkin' Donuts in, I don't know, some Boston town? Like, she freaking, there was a 17-year-old working, what do they call that Dunkin' Donuts? The cashier. And, yeah, she threw it
from December?
Was it from December? I guess. I don't know, but I thought there was one from Boston. I mean, not Boston, but Massachusetts recently. I thought where the lady threw a thing at at the girl, but maybe not. Anyway, I saw the video. It was wild. But yeah.
You can never find anything.
Anyway, treat your frontline employees nicely.
Your frontline employees, your activists, your organizers, treat them good, please. Don't send death threats to, like, kids, please.
What's wrong with y'all?
Over Joe Kennedy, especially.
But who was in young man was capping on the young man, as in Joe Kennedy's wife, was capping on the TL talking about she was getting death threats.
She was threatened.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, guys. So continuing on to this discussion about the mask mandate. So basically, you don't need to wear a mask if you're vaccinated, is what Dr. Fauci said. But what was hidden in that was except if you got, like...
If you're immunocompromised.
Except if you're in a large space. Except if you're...
a large group of people?
Yeah. I think, like, if you're in, a very large, like a concert.
Like the grocery store?
Yeah.
Stop and Shop?
Like, there are a bunch of exceptions to this, and he wants us to read it and be like, okay,
doctor, Americans are not gonna read Mr.
You just
Fauci.
fought us for a whole year to wear a mask. Now what you're saying is, if you're vaccinated, go ahead and do what you want. Except you fully know that a lot of Americans are still not vaccinated.
And you also fully know that more Americans are more likely to lie about getting a vaccination than actually.
All them TikTok trends of just people selling the vaccination cards. They're like, oh, I work at a pharmacy. I can get you a vaccination card for $200. First of all, $200.
That's ridiculous, man.
I could probably make it for you on Photoshop. In fact, to be quite honest,
I could probably look at mine, do a photocopy, clean it up.
Like, I could figure it
and print it on some cardstock. I think it would be. I'll do it for $80.
That's a good price. I was just gonna be like, just give me $20.
They charge me $200. I'll do it for $80.
But, like, there are so many exceptions to this, and I think it's really important that we talk about it and tell people, like, yes, sure, you can walk around without a mask. Sure. But, like, there are so many exceptions. Like, if you have sick family, do you really think this makes sense for you to walk around?
Oh, yeah. Also, do you have this? No, we don't have the part that, like, this is kind of connected because we got to talk again about people not wanting to go back to work and how these companies are wilding out. So I just want to say, like, there's, like, for a lot of people, why would they want to go back to the office? Like for a lot of people's jobs, like, it's actually, like, easier to not be in the office. Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes it's, like, literally, like, the office is more distracting, or you have people coming in to bother you.
I hated going to the office.
You know how much money a company could save by not having to deal with real estate? Maybe just renting out a space that people can go to every once in a while.
Make WeWork a thing again, for real. Like, if you want a space, we'll rent out a little WeWork area. Y'all can cycle through, do what y'all want.
When I was working at BookBub, we had the entire floor of the 5th floor of this, like, building in Cambridge, of the CIC in Cambridge, and it like, there's no reason. Everybody now is working from home. Nobody's been in the office.
People, like, really, they're really hyped for people to come back. And, like, some companies are obviously like, yeah, don't come back, whatever. But, that op-ed was, I think we talked about that last week, the op-ed, the Washingtonian, I don't know, whoever. The editor wrote an op-ed, and they were like,
Go back to
work culture. this is why they're gonna make you a temporary employee. I mean, a freaking contracted employee. You're gonna lose your health insurance and die. She didn't quite say that, but that's what she meant.
If health insurance was free, if we had universal health care, I wouldn't have to give a shit if you gave me health insurance.
But yeah, no. Whatever. But also, I just thought it was funny that all these companies like started like raising their wages and like offering like more benefits for 401k, all that stuff.
They suddenly had the money.
It was like,
all
oh
of
my
a sudden,
god,
like, that was so cute. But you know what I
find
also found fun was that Applebee's was like, yo, we see that and we raise you a free appetizer when you apply.
Hey, let me go apply to Applebee's because. What?
Let me get your college degree.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a whole bucket of chicken when you apply for this job at KFC.
Do I get sides?
Yeah, you get 2 sides, but only one of them is large.
Can I get chicken littles instead of actual chicken?
No,
okay, whatever.
No.
I don't want to apply anymore.
Yes, you can.
Okay, but yeah, so it's very interesting.
Applebee's was like, yo, we could offer you some whack ass food. How about that?
Yo, Walmart, I passed by it the other day. It said $18 an hour for overnight. I said, I'm about to be overnight in Walmart.
McDonald's was $18 with an asterisk.
That was today.
Yes, but I love the asterisk. The asterisk is bitch.
I don't think the degree would make a good rolling paper.
The paper's too thick, enough, I think. At least my degree, I don't know.
Yeah, her degree. It's on cardstock, bitch.
It's still in the packaging it came in. Filter. You know, my degree is in my closet. That's how much it means to me. It's in my closet, still in the same packaging it arrived.
Weird flex.
Weird flex, bro. You went to college and you graduated.
What was that like? College? What was that like?
It was the worst 4 years of my life.
Ram tough.
Hotep tough.
Tough.
Teflon Don.
Okay,
anyway,
yes, but
also. Oh.
I thought you were gonna go.
I was just gonna say also Larry Krasner.
Oh, okay, yes, okay, that's what I was gonna go to too.
Larry Krasner he beat Carlos Vega in the primary. And Carlos Vega was somebody that Larry Krasner fired. Because he was
that was really funny racist. When I saw that in the article.
Yeah, she's a weirdo. But he beat him like handily, and I love to see it because every time they're like this progressive, they're gonna lose because everyone signed the progressive policies, and then they win.
It's
they did the same thing with Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib. I was like
AOC, all of them. They tried it.
It was hilarious that they tried with AOC, like literally the most popular conversation.
I said the one raising money like that, but okay.
Like, come on, girl.
But yeah, it was. First of all, I didn't even know this race was happening, and
Me
you know
either
until when you don't know a race is
the
happening,
day of the race.
When you don't know a race is happening is usually the best thing because that usually means the incumbent is gonna win.
Right. Yesterday, the day of the race, I didn't know, and that's when I noticed or knew it was happening.
And one thing that when Malaysia sent me the article that I thought was interesting is that this is something that happened when Rachel Rollins was elected and throughout her term so far, and as well as Larry Krasner. Also, when I read it, I read Kushner. When you sent it to me, and I was like, that's not the right person.
Jared Kushner.
Larry Kushner's
is that
brother.
when people are like, oh, you have these progressive DAs, but gun violence is going up, but blah, blah, blah is going up. And I just want to have you guys critically think for a minute. I know it's very hard. I know it's an anti-American thing to think. But just because your DA does not put your people in prison doesn't mean that's going to solve the reason why they were like.
And mostly it's about non-violent drug offenses anyway, and not like gun violence because like usually that's like the thing that kind of put people in jail. I don't know, but also the other thing is that gun violence has been going up in this country for decades, as we should be able to tell, because how often do you hear about a mass shooting in this country? Thank you. Gun violence is most other form like violence in general, like crime in general, has been going down for decades, but gun violence like comparatively,
stabbings, those type of things.
Yeah. So
the new
a DA is not going to solve that, guys. Just want you, that's the main point I want to get across, is that a DA will help make sure that like recidivism and things like that don't happen as much. Like a good DA, but a good DA is not. It doesn't have the ability to suddenly stop violence that has been happening in your community, because that's like only one factor of this like massive system we're in.
And the black people in Philadelphia understood that.
They said, yeah, no, we're good with Larry.
They said, we fucking with Larry. They like, oh, I like how a lot of the prosecutors like, oh, it's unorganized because he fired all these people. And I'm like, did he fire them because they're racist? I think so. That's the problem. See, that's how you know that Larry Krasner is like actually a leftist, because he was like, yeah, the whole system is effed up. I need to get rid of these people. They have to go. We have to have new people in here because these people are they're poisoned.
Also, me, to be quite frank with you, if I walk into my office and you worked for this DA that was very like pro jailing people and pro just like not actually helping people, I'd get rid of you too. Because why would I think that you could effectively do your job to the degree I want you to? Like, shit, even thinking about Rachel Rollins, when she had that incident where they were fucked up.
They were charging people bail and they shouldn't have been.
Like, you have stuff like that happen.
That's why you have to fire people.
You gotta fire motherfuckers that ain't with the plan. You're not with it, you gotta go.
See you later. That's my prerogative. Like, that's the problem with Democrats, is that they're always scared to upset somebody. No, they elected me so you can go the door.
Then
like, it's my freaking
my
office. Yes, everybody talking. Anyway, yeah, it is my prerogative. Like a young Roxbury man once said. Yeah, that's great. And first of all, in both national and international news about Israel Palestine, Joe Biden wanted to play some little games and say, I could consider a ceasefire, like if they want to. And obviously, Netanyahu was like, no, we don't want to.
Why would I want a ceasefire?
And then,
facts. Why would I want that?
Why would I want a fucking ceasefire? Why would I want that?
The fuck are we talking about here?
Fucking ceasefire.
Fucking ceasefire. We're almost done.
Bostonian.
Yes, I was like,
I don't know how to do any other way.
You want me to cease fire? You want me to cease fire? We're almost done. What are you talking about?
I was like, very Bostonian, very New York. We're hitting everywhere.
I can only do the only white man I can do is Bostonian in New York. I'm sorry. Sometimes I could get a good Midwestern if you get me on a good day. And I could do a Southern.
No, but with Biden, he was like, stop it.
Like, oh no, stop. Like when Kane was complimenting my earrings. Stop. That's how Joe Biden told Benjamin Netanyahu stop shooting them.
Doing whatever.
It's not like we don't give you all the missiles you're shooting into.
I literally just sold them to you like 2 days ago. Stop.
Oh my God, stop.
And you were literally doing the thing you were doing. Stop.
If you don't stop right now.
We're still gonna sell you the arms, but like,
stop it,
and give you the aid, but
oh my God, stop.
You know, that's the best part to me, is that it's an arms sale, but we give them aid. So how are we selling?
So what we're doing is giving aid to the arms dealers. That is what we're doing. That, if you want to be clear, like this is why I say follow the money. Y'all heard me say follow the money before. It's like it sounds cliche, but like dead ass, anything in American politics, it's about money. It's about money. Like, you want to talk about anybody, like, oh, you think they have a, oh, look at them, they have a little, they're so, pure of heart, da 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 da. Fuck that. Oh, also, sorry.
ADHD strong in this one today.
On some more national news that's like similar, Joe Biden, I think we do, I saw a tweet, talking about how voting for the lesser of two evils is still evil, and we, literally voted for the most imperialist person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's literally, like, if you think about, if you could blame one person for the foreign policy problems that we have that we've had over the past 40 years, Joe Biden is the person to blame, like, in a lot of ways. Like, he can take a lot of the blame for a lot of shit.
Let's never forget the reason why he was selected to be Obama's vice president was because he was good at foreign policy.
And my thing is, we really forgave people for that Iraq war, and I'm confused as to why we forgave everybody for voting for that Iraq war, because a lot of people didn't. Bernie Sanders didn't vote for the Iraq war. We forgave people, and it's not like they didn't know that there weren't weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. They knew that there weren't. Come on.
It was like voting between the Tasmanian Devil and like Wile E. Coyote, but like the Wile E. Coyote who could speak, who like speaks to Bugs Bunny. He's like evil as fuck, but like kind of you look at him and it's like, oh, it's just Wile E. Coyote, but then you like realize how fucking evil he really is.
I just like
shit.
I think like my thing is like I remember earlier in 2020 I was like, folks, listen, I'm not saying don't vote for Joe Biden. I'm definitely never saying vote for Donald Trump, but you guys gotta hold Joe Biden account. Like, you have to make some demands. Hold your vote hostage. Make some demands of this man before you mark the ballot for him. Mm-hmm. We have to force it. We have to hold him accountable. He has to stop thinking he could just do whatever he want to do, say whatever he want to say. He doesn't have to listen to anybody. And look what happened. He's literally, he is facilitating a genocide in Palestine. I know a lot of Americans don't give a fuck about foreign policy. They're like, well, what about, we have to worry about the home. Okay, but the home is facilitating the genocide in Palestine. Like, that is what the home is doing. Like our foreign, the thing is, our foreign policy, we have to talk about foreign policy when we're talking about national policy, because our taxpayer money funds foreign policy across the world, and it funds the destruction of the global south. It funds the oppression of brown people, the murder of people of color. It funds all that stuff. It keeps people impoverished. So I don't we have to reconcile the fact, like, anybody who voted for Joe Biden, I don't know, some people still love him, who cares? But anybody else has to reconcile the fact that it's our fault. Some of this is our fault. Like, some of it is our fault for deciding that like, we didn't have to vote, deciding that the lesser of two evils wasn't evil enough, or we felt like he was good enough. Like, it's not true.
Especially with black folks too, because like, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm not saying like Trump is better in any way, but nothing he did really.
Break it down like I'm in double.
Nothing he did like inherently fucked with us. Like, it was like the general population was like, oh, this fucking asshole, and he was like, yeah, he's a fucking idiot. But mostly like the black community was just kind of like chilling.
Joe
Biden, nothing
Biden,
really changed for us.
Joe Biden, like, he's just like, sickening. But anyway, to explain the Israel-Palestine situation, what happened is, honestly, it's not so hard to explain from the beginning. So Israel is a settler, colonial, white supremacist state, heavily militarized and funded by the biggest imperial power in the world, the United States of America. They're backed and totally funded by us. The reason it exists as a country at all is because of settler colonialism and white supremacy. Mm-hmm. The U.S. and the U.K. Decided that they were going to allow white European Jews a homeland in the Middle East, because fuck brown people and fuck all the brown Jews and the brown Muslims and brown Christians that were there. The brown Jews got to stay in theory if they wanted to, but a lot of them didn't anyway. But so that was back in like 1948, 7, 8, 9, more. So, they came over and they said, get the fuck out of your house. Did a lot of, it's strange that, it's familiar as to, like, similar things happened like just recently to another group. Yeah. But, it's weird how it happened. But they, kicked a lot of people out of their homes, eventually there were laws made about, if you're if you have like a land deed from like if you have a land deed that says you own some land that somebody's living on, you have the right to take it unless you're Palestinian, in which case you don't because you're a second-class citizen in an apartheid state. But that was the beginning, kicking all the people out, da-da-da. There's also been a blockade on the Gaza Strip for decades.
Yeah, it was like our whole lives.
A lot of bombing. Hamas is a terrorist organization that, their goal is Palestinian freedom. And yeah, they shoot rockets at Israel, but Israel has a system called the Iron Dome, which shoots down rockets. So, rockets really don't generally make it to Israel. Cause they have a defense system, but Palestine, isn't even a country, so it doesn't have an army or a defense system. And Hamas, the terrorist organization, there's been conflicts over the years. Conflicts meaning Israel, settler colonialism,
meaning
and
a baby bomb it reaches Israel. Israel bombs a whole city.
Bomb, destroy, literally displaces thousands of people, kills more, da-da-da-da.
It's always uneven. I think that's the most important thing to realize, is that Israel has so much power, so much control.
Literally, that's backed by...
It's just a massive, any things that Palestinians or Palestine does wrong, it's tenfold what Israel does back.
So,
and, honestly, what would you do if your people were held in,
It's a prison. It's an open air prison. It's an apartheid state.
They can come at any time and just kind of take your house, take your family apart.
They can charge you money to bulldoze your house. They have they have power 5 hours a day. Water every other day. Can't leave.
Look, I'd be a terrorist too. I'm gonna keep it back with you. If you kept me like that.
And the population, most of the population is 20 years old.
Mm-hmm. While Israel's is 30, which tells you something about what's happening to the people in Palestine.
Also, what started this recent bout of violence was Israel. They're pushing people out of their homes in Jerusalem neighborhood of Sheikh Jarrah, and they also bombed historic mosque during Eid. Mm-hmm. I mean during Ramadan.
Mm-hmm. Close to the end, pretty much.
Yeah, near Eid. And yeah, that's when it started. And then they just started bombing. And
then they started beefing. But one beef is bigger than the other when you have more guns.
And also Israel's literally just committing war crime after war crime.
Mm-hmm.
Hamas can commit war crimes, but they're not a state. They're criminal. They're terrorists. The terrorists offered a ceasefire, and Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, refused to agree to a ceasefire. So they bombed the Associated Press building that also has Al Jazeera. Literally just a news building. There was no evidence. There was no evidence of Hamas storing weapons there. None at all. Every independent investigator is no. What are you talking about?
That's just where we worked, bro.
And they bombed it. They bombed a school recently, I think.
They bombed everything. There's nothing they
bunch of apartment buildings that Hamas was supposedly keeping weapons in. But they're also they use people as human shields. Okay, so don't bomb them then. The civilian life, that kind of matters. Don't, because how can it be human shields when they're blockaded in? They're literally on top of each other. It's one of the densest cities in the world. Mm-hmm. One of the densest areas to live in the world. They are human shields because there's nowhere else to be. There's no other side to this issue. It's literally genocide. I saw this video,
a quick TikTok where it was one of those. First of all, me personally, I am, what was I going to say? Oh my God, it's gone. What was I going to say? Well, what did Jordan say?
Jordan was asking how many. It would be interesting to see how many Irish Americans support Palestine. Because of what the English did to them. With
I'm back, baby. Stuff. Okay, I saw this TikTok where okay, this is what I was gonna say. Is I'd never be in a room with an Israeli that thought my people didn't deserve a life. But anywho, this was a video between a Palestinian and an Israeli / I think he was an American, but Israeli dude, and the Palestinian was like, how many, like, where was your grandfather from? Like, your great grandfather, where was he from? Homie said Hungary. He said mine was from Palestine, and I said, period. Poo. What more do you need from there? Mine was from my people have been here for 7 generations, and your grandfather just came because they gave him land after his people were killed at his land.
You know what I found? You also know I found out recently that Ho Chi Minh offered Israel.
Oh, facts! Yes, I did see that too.
A homeland in Vietnam, and they still decided to take somebody else's. They said, "Fuck it."
They said Jerusalem.
It should be ours, even though, like, I'm like. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I think, like...
Also, the way they let this go on for almost 2 weeks, the ceasefire is... They gave Netanyahu until tomorrow, I guess. Netanyahu agreed to tomorrow ending the fires.
Okay, so is he gonna get in a few more tonight?
Yes,
like,
that's why it didn't make sense.
Probably.
Everybody was like, so you couldn't have just stopped tonight? And I was like, no, he probably had a few missions he wanted to keep. Because
he literally said... He also literally said they were gonna start, like, ground something.
Yes.
Groundwork.
So,
like, what are you literally gonna invade? Like,
tomorrow starts the ceasefire. We'll see how that, like, happens.
Because the UN tried to make a resolution, and I wonder who blocked it. Oh, it was the freaking World Cop, USA, blocking all the other 14 leaders in the G summit were like, yeah, let's do it. And the 15th leader was like, no, but Israel's my friend.
That's my little sis.
Team America, World Police.
It don't make you sick sometimes to think, like, I thought about it today when I was writing some of the agenda, and I was like, sometimes it really makes me sick to my stomach to, like, be an American because of things like this. Like, the fact that, like, my money, I make money and it goes to killing young Palestinian children. Like, my money goes and does
to kill brown people and starve them.
It's fucked up.
But it doesn't go to the kids in my actual neighborhood that are starving. Facts. The kids that, like, need, like, proper care.
And then it doubly sucks as black people because you're sitting here like, and my government killing me too. Shit. Like, somebody tweeted, like, it's really hard to, like, have to deal with your people being murdered and then deal with having to explain why your people being murdered is wrong. And they were Palestinian, and I'm like, yo, not to minimize, but deadass same, bro, because it really fucking is.
It's even,
and that's why black people and Palestinians have been in solidarity for decades.
Yeah, facts. But it's even worse though, because like you said, like we're paying for it over there. We're paying for it here too. Like,
facts.
We're paying for both of our people to. That's fucked up.
And it's not just it's Palestine, it's Syria, it's just random places in African countries that have been affected, like Rwanda, which we let happen.
The entire freaking South America, Central America, Caribbean. That's
all of our money has
been
gone
a bully
to just
over there,
making sure people become refugees. Like, people die and become refugees. That is what all of our money has gone to.
Also, so. Rashida Tlaib has gone up to Biden multiple times and been like, my nig, they killing my people. Please now, just call for a ceasefire. And first of all, man has been told repeatedly, her name is Rashida. He's been calling her Rashid.
Rashid?
Rashid
Tlaib. Like the
Rashid.
What? Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a picture. If you guys haven't seen it, just Google Rashid. I was gonna say Rashid. Oh my God! And Joe Biden and Jill's like holding her arm, and people are like, "I wonder what that means." And I'm like, "Y'all love white women too much for this." But I love that she began in his face. I really love that she does it. And this is how her career started.
We also killed Saddam Hussein.
Mm-hmm. Who didn't we kill?
Assassinated Muammar Gaddafi. Well, literally, we
Gaddafi, Hussein, Bin Laden.
Man, we're the whole reason Iran is Iran. So.
Yeah.
Almost all of Saudi Arabia.
So, you know what? It's always funny when, like, the French complain about burqas and things like that. And I was like, because none of these countries were like this.
It was literally y'all fault.
All of y'all, UK, France, the US, all got together and said, I don't like y'all having y'all own little democracy, y'all own little people.
And
that's not cute.
y'all want to nationalize your oil. Oh, well, we're going to put this dictator in here. Now, all of a sudden, we're confused as to why people are mad that they're starving and oppressed by theocracies. And we're mad at the theocracies and we'll demonize an entire religion because we put fascist leaders in charge decades ago, and we have continued to purposely destroy democracy whenever it creeps up. Even a whisper of democracy, we're like, shut up!
You don't want it!
Shut up! No more democracy.
You listen here.
Nigga.
Democracy's not for you.
Democracy
America's really good at calling people
us.
nigga.
Yes.
Really
Democracy
good
is
at
only
being,
for us.
of being like, you ain't getting
We
this
have
shit,
democracy
nigga.
and you don't. That's what America does, literally. Like, that's what they do. Shut up. Like, it's sickening.
We fucked over all the Caribbean
Basically,
islands,
the whole globe. If you were untouched by America, you've been blessed.
Yeah.
Who?
But who hasn't been touched, really? So
There's no win.
it's been bad touch everywhere.
Yeah, like, I mean...
So that's fun, but Palestine, the ceasefire gotta stop, but Palestine gotta be free.
Right, and AOC and Rashida are bringing forward a resolution to block $735 million sale of weapons to Israel. Please, begging. And and Markey was being a little hoe. He wouldn't fucking speak up. But John Ossoff and Bernie Sanders were doing very good things in the Senate. They got John Ossoff got 20, I think 14 or 20, some good number of Democrats or senators, probably mostly Democrats, to sign on to a resolution calling for a ceasefire in Israel. And a lot of people have been talking about this, but if you were any kind of involved in politics, literally up until this year, to be honest, I don't know where it came from, but talking about Palestine was totally taboo. It could get your job in this. So like Mark Lamont Hill, he barely said anything. He didn't even say it on CNN, and he got fired from CNN.
Still mad to me in Malaysia. I've basically not really watched the CNN thing after that.
It make me sad, bro. I sometimes watch Don Lemon because he gets upset. But you talking about Palestine, especially as a Muslim or a Palestinian, your life, it could get your whole career done.
They want you to act like your people weren't dying every day,
or not act like they weren't dying, or if you acknowledge that they're dying, act like they deserve it because Hamas.
Call Israel a bad guy.
Imagine, bruh, saying that Israel is a settler colonialist state, or saying that Israel is freaking,
Wait, I didn't even notice Marge Simpson's hair was sticking out like that. That's really funny.
Facts. Saying that Israel is a settler colonialist state, or saying that they're white supremacists. I mean, it's still controversial, but, it was you couldn't dare. The fact that people in Congress are calling out Israel... whoa, it's a huge shift in culture.
Even a lot of celebrities, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, calling anything out about, Israel would have been, a death sentence for your career. Now, we can do it openly, seeing Bella Hadid, who is Palestinian, her father is Palestinian, being so open and joining protests, I believe, in New York was dope. Because obviously she's Palestinian, but also she's obviously a very famous model, and that's a risky move for a model to go out there and be I'm Palestinian. Y'all got me fucked up if you think I'm gonna be quiet about what's happening in my country. Right. And that's dope to see because people be more about Pepsi than they be about their people. So it's really good to see. I'm hoping AOC and Rashida are able to block this sale of weapons to Israel.
I need the Democrats to wake up.
I need them to stop being... You know who's pussy? Y'all. I ain't never seen a group of people be more pussy and have control of everything.
Oh, but you know who had a really great speech about Palestine? Ayanna Pressley. Mm-hmm. She killed it. Her speech was great.
Because she be understanding too. She know. All the black people know. Everybody knows. That's the sick part. Is everybody knows the issue here. We just want to play around and call it anti-Semitism. We want to say, "Oh, y'all want to kill Israelis." No.
And even she has grown on the issue. She was a little less
I mean,
clear, firm about it before now.
it was still like an impossible thing for people to
Facts.
touch.
It was
like
yeah, it really was.
we
like,
know that a
taboo,
large
taboo.
part of like, I don't want to say a large part, but there was this very like liberal base that was very pro-Israel and very and that Zionist community of Israel. You leave it alone.
Right.
Israel is something you don't touch. You can keep your little black people issues and things like that, but Israel you don't touch. That was very much the the aura, especially for fundraising and things like that, that people got, that you leave these issues alone and we give you money. Now it's a little different. Now people don't give a fuck, and I love it. I love people not giving a fuck on if they're gonna get money from these groups of people, because you shouldn't need these groups of people. That shouldn't, like, the money and blah 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 shouldn't be the reason you hold your tongue against a genocide.
Facts.
Yeah, it's sickening.
Period. And that's it. Okay, now we got foolishness to talk about.
Foolishness.
Okay, so I saw this article that said that Kenya, is that his name?
Kenya.
Kenya Barris. I don't know why I always want to say Barris, because he's embarrassing. And Eva Longoria were working on a show called Brownish.
And I just need the ish. What did they say, the ish industrial complex to end?
End it, please.
Abolish.
Abolish the ish industrial complex
Abolish.
today. And it's funny because it basically is happening, because I think Mixedish
got canceled.
Blackish is
It's
ending.
Yep.
Grownish, I
is-
believe, is also ending, if not like on its last legs. So we're ending the ish industrial complex, but he's trying to continue it. He said, "You know what I don't got though?
I don't
got a show about brown people."
And Eva Longoria is not really brown.
It's starting to get whiter too, because like eventually it's gonna be like whitish.
Right. Like, I'm like,
No, it's gonna be a bunch of white passing people. Oh, that's so sick.
it's gonna be a bunch of
It's like-
whatchamacallit.
it's like,
that are gonna debate on if they could say the
It's
N
like-
word.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be a bunch of Rashida Jones's. Just
Yeah, it's
a
like
whole show of
Rashida
Jones.
Jones. It's like Rashida Jones, Blake Griffin's on there. Enfys Ness, she's on there too.
Logic.
Logic's there. Logic's on
Logic's-
there.
Logic plays Rashida Sleep's
The
little
guy,
brother.
the black guy in every movie that you can never tell if he's like actually black, or maybe he might be just like white passing, or maybe he's Spanish.
They
I
gonna
can't
put
tell.
Wentworth Miller.
Wentworth Miller,
Whoa,
the dude from
you read that, my brain good.
what was his name from the game?
Oh, Jason.
What's Jason
Yes.
from the game?
I don't know his name.
He's in everything. And he's,
They're gonna put the dude from the Spike Lee movie, who's always in the Spike Lee movies, the one with the low haircut.
Yeah, yeah.
You know him?
Yeah.
Light skin. I don't know, man.
Well, no, he's just really light skinned. He's not white passing.
I know, but like
He got nigga features though.
Yeah, but he's gonna.
You need to mix it up though. You need to
Yeah,
put
you
some that
can't
you
have-
know are black.
Oh yeah,
It
okay.
can't be all like totally
Yeah,
white
okay,
passing. Like they have to have some.
They gotta have the black guy in there so that they can be like, oh no, you're clearly the black guy.
Right,
in
the
here.
super light skinned black
me,
guy.
So
me
it
remembering
fits
how
the-
blackish almost all the kids are mixed,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of sick. Except
Marcia.
yes,
Except who?
except the young girl.
Marcia Martin.
Wow, all of the kids
Yes.
are like actually.
Yes.
Oh wow.
The oldest brother is half Mexican, I believe, and so is the little boy as well.
And half Mexican and black, or just
Yeah, half Mexican and black.
Mhm.
And then Yashahidi is
half Iranian.
yes, and black. It's very interesting. A whole show full of mixies, and obviously, Rainbow, Tracy Ellis Ross is.
Half white, half
But anywho,
British.
this industrial complex gotta stop. There are
And
stories.
Anthony Anderson is a creep.
There are
Oh, great.
There are
That was-
stories that you can tell about brown folk that you could like. Eva Longoria and Kenya Barris embarrassments don't need to get together and make this project, because
Kenya
there are actual there are brown people that they could actually highlight. They could be like, the studio is
And
making
also,
this.
I just need ABC cannot be trusted with these
No!
things. They killed Fresh off the boat.
Killed.
They made it mad racist.
It was really weird. Yeah,
And then-
that was really sad.
It was a good show in the beginning. Yeah,
Just
even
like
Blackish,
Blackish was a
right?
good show.
Even Black, like Kenya Barris has his colorism and all his stuff, but it was better than it became.
Yeah, ABC be tearing these shows up as soon as after the first season, the whole point of the show goes out of the way, and it just becomes a show to show white people.
It's
Black
weird. It just
lives?
adds more like characters and.
It don't make sense. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's just.
But to close this off, we have a funny local story, but it's also like a pop culture story. All right, are you guys ready? Have you heard the story?
No.
Oh, this is beautiful.
My tum-tum started hurting.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Well,
I don't have any ginger ale.
I'll do this quickly. Okay, so Maddie in the morning. I cannot get you ginger ale. You have 2% ginger ale right there. It's probably mad old.
It's from like, I don't know.
It's fresh. Okay, Maddie in the morning. This morning was talking about Demi Lovato. She came out as non-binary slash.
Did you see somebody say Demi Lovato? No. I'm sorry.
She
Demi
didn't think
Lovato.
that through.
Demi Lovato. Oh, that killed me.
Okay, so I was gonna say Demi Lovato. Please, Malaysia, please. Okay, Demi Lovato came out as non-binary, and
Is that what's been making her so damn nutty?
probably I don't know.
Recently. I
Yeah.
mean,
So she came out as non-binary, and they were discussing it on Maddie in the Morning. I don't. If you don't know, Maddie in the Morning is the morning show for Kiss 108? Question mark.
Yeah.
Yes. If you were forced to listen to it like I was in the morning, he was very boring old white man, and he's been on for like 40 years or something crazy like that, which is way too long, in my honest opinion. We keep radio hosts on too long, is what I think.
I don't even know why we're still listening to radio. I'm gonna be real with you.
Radio's cool. It's just we keep the host on too long. But to continue on, so they're talking about it, and then he starts making some kind of inappropriate kind of like jokes about like this new culture and
of course
blah
he
blah
did.
blah and like.
what did you expect some old
And I
Boston
think
white man to say?
He's also had. I don't know if he has a beef against Demi Lovato, but I feel like
Yeah,
from
I
what
think-
people were
I
talking
think
about
he
it,
does.
they got like he got some animosity towards them, and so he was going off, and his boss told him like, "Shut it up. You don't need to be doing this. Like this is a little too much," and he flipped out and he left the show, and allegedly he quit. Now, if he quit after 40 years over Demi Lovato being a they, I'm telling you right now,
With
you should have
Demi
been quit.
Lovato.
You should have been quit. I don't know what's with these old white men that they're like, this new culture, this new blah, blah, blah. These new
Like,
kids, they don't
relax.
let me say anything. I'm a comedian. First of all, sir, you've never been funny.
He's
Not a day
not a
in your
comedian.
life.
What?
You're a morning show, like a radio morning show person. We only listen to you because our moms hate us and they want us to listen to horribleness in the morning.
I never listened to
you
him.
before. in my
We
life.
listened to Gem 94.5 for the longest time, and then at one point my mom changed the channel. I don't know why. She hated me, I think. It's my only reason. Mommy, if you're watching, please explain to me why we
You
went
started-
from Gen
She
94.5
hates you. You said it yourself.
Listening to
and
Maddie.
in the morning. I think it's because she would listen to it at work, so it just continued to, like, in her brain, she was like, oh, okay. I think it was also, like, when Ramiro and Pebbles were doing their weird stuff and, like, being broken up or whatever.
Yeah.
So whatever. But I was forced to listen to it. I need an explanation. Anywho, so he goes off. He pops off about this. And I just, it's just
He's
so...
a crybaby. He's a snowflake.
Yes.
You're a snowflake, Maddie.
So upset about it.
Yo, Maddie, you're a snowflake.
Give me a Malaysia mornings talk show. We'd be hilarious.
Put us on the radio. We know not how
I know how to
swear,
not cuss.
I promise.
I'll just say cuss instead of a swear word.
We worked with youth. We know how to not swear.
I know how to use the good words. The good word of the
If somebody, they could put us on Kiss 108. I would be very annoyed by hearing the music every day. But
I'd be mad and bring a little color every day. I'd be like, ooh, a new R&B song by.
I'd be playing. They'd be like, you have to stop. You can't just play random Boston artists. I'm like, can't I?
And now, a new song by this person. All you cool cats, get up off your ass and
No, yeah, you can
shake
put
your
us.
booty.
You can put us on the radio. We'll wake you up. Wake up. Good morning.
Good morning.
With Malachi and Alejandra.
Get your ass up with Kay.
If you're driving, that sucks for you.
If you're driving, there's mad traffic. I didn't check, but it's Boston, so there's
Whoever-
probably mad traffic.
Whoever threw that piece of paper, your mama's a hoe.
But yeah, that was just a wild thing that happened, and I was like, this white man really think he that important? Like, we really care
He
if
was
he won't
like-
be on air.
He was like, and now watch what happened to Kiss 108.
Oh, and this leads to another story that I forgot to add in that this Republican group, it's a conservative group, same difference, is spending 7 figures, like it's a 7-figure ad campaign on pressuring the CEOs of major companies like Coca-Cola, Nike, blah, 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 to stop being so political, aka stop making statements like Black Lives Matter and things like
I
that.
don't understand how they could pressure them to do that.
I don't understand either, but they're gonna spend a bunch of money for like Fox, MSNBC, not MSNBC.
We're gonna get political and
CBS
ask you to not be
Citizen,
political.
whatever. They're gonna go on all those channels and be like, they shouldn't be political. These companies shouldn't say blah blah blah.
So
and they won't reveal who's funding them. Also,
okay, cool. But is our brains working? Do we understand capitalism? I thought we fucked with capitalism. Those people,
Stop
because
trying to save
clearly Coca-Cola, Nike, those types of places made a financial decision, and we're like, the majority of our consumer base wants us to support these policies. So I don't understand why people who like the free market would want to stop them from using their Citizens United, bro. Like, that companies are people. They should be able to use their voice in participatory government. They can spend their money. And I think it's really funny because I'm like, if anybody's going to be doing the pressuring, it's going to be the companies to y'all. Come on, like, they're the ones giving you money. Like, you don't have any power over them. What are you going to start charging them taxes? Sure. You're not going to do that. Come on.
Found it very interesting. They were like it's like an anti, let me get the proper phrasing. 1 second. It's like anti-woke campaign because
the word woke is canceled. I knew it. I knew you would love it. I had to do the Gen Z behavior. The word woke is canceled.
It is so Gen Z. Oh, it hurts.
Oh, I have to find it. No, I really do have to find it at some point because it was really like anti-woke campaign.
That was fucking great.
No, but dead ass the way they used it, they killed it, bro. They killed it.
Ooh, shit, sorry. Ooh, shit.
They killed it, man. They sold it, bro.
That's the new trend. We gotta get that on Twitter. We have to get that. Have you seen that on Twitter, or did you just make that up?
I mean, I'm sure many people have said it.
Oh no!
They sold it though.
Why'd I lose it again?
But they sold it because they be calling I'm like, what are you? This not even woke. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, y'all just made this up. They be like, yeah, and the woke mom says that you can't wear ebony because that's racist to black people. And they be like, no one said that. Like, what are you talking about? Nobody said. They be like, see, this is the problem with the woke mob.
That's great. Woke is canceled. I fucking love that. Oh man. No, but hold on, Alicia. That is quintessential Gen Z. To the point where it Reddit hurt me. Like, the meme made me go, no, it's too young for me.
I'm gonna go to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh no, I was saying it right. Anti-woke. Yes.
I'm gonna go to PragerU and be like, I have a campaign for you. It's called Woke is Canceled. Do you like it? Will you give me money?
Sorry, guys. People are just ridiculous, and I don't know what to tell you guys.
Ridiculous.
Fucking ridiculous.
And man, that's been an episode of Insert Name Here. It's 39.
That's what the name of this episode should have been, is woke is canceled.